Thank you. We sincerely appreciate your kind words, and we are extremely proud of you. While I am talking about our family, please allow me to introduce other members of our immediate family. Our daughter-in-law, Janelle Alston Collins, please stand. Our son-in-law, Roderick Durong Thompson. Grandchildren, Ross Lorenzo Thompson, Brooke Carlette Thompson, Sydney Rose Collins, Ella Gabrielle Collins, and Alston Ernest Collins. Thank you, children and grandchildren. Thank you for being here and participating in this wonderful occasion. And then I want to thank my parents, Richard and Laurel Brown, for it is because of them that I stand before you today. Married during the Depression, working to make a living and building a family, wanting more for their children than what they had. They dreamed of a place of their own where they could raise their 6 children with the intention of more to come. When during the year of 1939, while reading a magazine, a little blurt of an article caught my mom's attention. The little blurt stated, funds can be borrowed from the United States of America through the Farm Security Administration of the United States Department of Agriculture. Mom cut out the article, and she and Dad acted on the information. This action resulted in my mom with an 8th grade education and my dad a 3rd grade education, purchasing 128 acres of land in Matagorda County, Texas, on February the 9th, 1940. They moved their 6 children to begin a new life. The years ahead were filled with focus, goals, hard work, prayer, and 6 additional children. 12 children. I was the 9th. We were full-time farmers, making our living by what we raised. There were many lessons to be learned on the farm, and many lessons learned being in a large family. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Thank you for your resourcefulness, courage, and bravery. Your single act of stepping out on faith and taking a risk changed the trajectory of your family for future generations. And yes, the land is still in the family today, every acre that you purchased. While growing up on the farm and being one of the younger children, I was privileged to hear conversations of plans and expectations for our family. I was 3 years of age when my oldest sibling finished high school, and a way was made for him to go to Prairie View. Notice I did not say college, because college was Prairie View. He, being a farm boy, studied agriculture. This was Mom's and Dad's fulfillment of a dream. He finished Prairie View, followed by several other siblings. I watched in anticipation for my turn. It was a fall ritual. Mom would clean up the wardrobe trunk, pack it neatly, and we would drive to Prairie View with the next in line. My senior year of high school came. This was the last year for me to ride the yellow school bus. On my graduation day, a relative asked my mom, "Where is Flo going to school next year?" To my dismay, my mom said proudly, "She is going to Wharton Junior College." I could not believe it. I couldn't believe what I had heard. I just knew I was going to Prairie View. It had never crossed my mind that I was not. Well, you see, integration had come about, and the junior college was now open to African American students. My parents thought this would ease their financial load, since my older sister still had 2 years left at Prairie View. I was not happy. This meant remaining at home on the farm and riding the school bus for 2 more years. Wow. Those 2 years were filled with fear, but also with academic excellence. I thought the Caucasian students at the college were surely smarter than I, for they had come from high schools with new books, well-stocked labs, and the latest of everything. So I studied. I studied the hour and a half on the way to school and studied the hour and a half on the return trip home. To my delight, I completed my 2 years as an honor student and graduated with an associate's degree. Now, finally, fall 1964, I packed my trunk and was taken to Prairie View. I loved everything about it. Living in the dorm, having roommates, the campus, classes, and even the cafeteria food. I never missed a meal. I figured if I didn't have to cook the food, wash the dishes, hey, this is great. It was all the best. The first semester zoomed by. Second semester began. It was Friday night, March 5th, 1965. A friend encouraged me to go to the student union with her. I agreed. We sat visiting in the union when her homeboy and his friend came in. They both were jovial and smiling. They sat at our table and we visited until everyone began to leave to go to the movie. This is the night I met my husband-to-be, Ernest Boyd Collins. We became fast friends from that meeting and have been friends ever since. We discovered we had a lot in common. We both were reared on the farm, both from large families, both had ridden the school bus to school, a perfect recipe for hours of conversation, fun, and laughter. We graduated from Prairie View, and I began teaching, he to the military to fulfill his ROTC commitment. We were married July the 22nd, 1967. He was stationed at Fort Ord, California, where I later joined him, and together we remained there until his separation from service, September of 1969. Our first child, Leslie, was born while at Fort Ord, California. Upon separating from the military service, Ernest was highly sought after for employment by corporations, since he was an officer and a business major. He finished the interview process with 8 job offers. We chose the offer from Humble Oil and Refining Company, now ExxonMobil. He was assigned Denver, Colorado to report to work October the 1st, 1969. Over the next 3.5 decades, we worked, he received promotions, we relocated 5 times. We had 2 more babies. We bought our first ranch in 1979. I studied for and received my master's degree in student personnel and guidance, as well as certifications in counseling and vocational counseling from Texas A&M Commerce, early childhood education from the University of North Texas, and mid-management administration from Prairie View A&M University. With every move, there was setting up the home, getting the children settled in school and activities, and finding a church home. After this was done, I would resume my career in educational studies. Our work locations began on the West Coast, but we have been blessed to work our way back home, living in Denver, Colorado, Dallas, Houston, Dallas again, final move to Houston in 1983 when ExxonMobil moved their headquarters to Houston. In summary, our parents taught us to dream and work and showed us how through their example. They made sure that our time as a youth was meaningful. They valued education and made it possible for us to achieve an education. Prairie View prepared us for our life's work, for it was at Prairie View that we learned you are what you do with your mind, your gifts, and your talents. Prairie View whetted my appetite for continuous learning and advancement. I am filled with gratitude for having had a career which I loved, helping and guiding students and teachers, helping and inspiring students to achieve and do their best, be their best, helping them to get a better education and have a better future. I want to thank Prairie View A&M University for preparing all of us alums for a better future. And in the words of the scripture, Luke 12, verse 48, for unto whom so much is given, of him shall be much required. We owe a debt to you, Prairie View. We love you, and we shall continue to support you. And finally, we hope the auditorium, which is right behind us, and we will cut the ribbon and enter it momentarily. We hope this auditorium, which bears our name, will serve as a beacon for academic excellence, a place for performances, lectures, inductions, meetings, conferences, and venues of all types to enrich and expose all who gather within those walls. We thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. It is our pleasure to see and be around all of you, and thank you for coming. May God bless you all.
Of course you stay up here with me. Where you coming from? Wow. This is an amazing time for us. Look around, and so many of our friends are here. And we thank all of you for spending your time, taking your day to come and join us on this very wonderful occasion. This is such a proud occasion. And as I look out over the audience, I'm going to deviate a little bit from my script because I see my aunt back there that I did not know was coming. She came down from Austin, Texas. Thank you. Wow, she's here. And I really do appreciate you. That's an extra effort for you to come down here from Austin, so thank you so much for being here. This is really such a great honor, a wonderful, humbling experience for the Collins family. So many to thank for making this day a reality. I want to thank you, Dr. Wright, and your staff. I want to thank Dr. Johnson for making the nomination, and to Dr. Friday and the committee for approving that nomination of naming of this auditorium for Flo and I. The naming of the auditorium for Flo and I is really a high watermark for the Collins family. And it is significant to me that the auditorium is located in the Business and Agriculture building. As a student, I majored in business administration. And as you know, today, we are heavily involved with agriculture as a business venture. I really feel right at home in this environment. I cannot thank Prairie View enough for taking me from the cotton fields of Central Texas to corporate America, where I had a 35-year career with ExxonMobil. Thank you, Prairie View. I must sincerely thank Prairie View for the opportunity to meet the lady of my dreams, Miss Floretta Brown. Clearly, Flo's memory is better than mine. I do know we met in the student union. The young man and the young lady that were with us that evening are here today. Lifelong friendships. That's what happens here at Prairie View. And I'm thankful for that. Great to have that kind of support. I'm thankful for our children, our grandchildren. We are so blessed and so proud of them. It has been said that the fruit does not fall far from the tree. And it's true in this case. It's true because those children and grandchildren, you see, are Flo-made children. I lended a hand, but Flo led the effort. If she had an issue, she'd read a book. If she had a greater concern, she'd take a class, maybe even become certified in early childhood education. Certification in early childhood education may have been more for in-home use than career enhancement. I was there, dedicated, hands-on, and involved. Business travel was the only reason to miss a game, a track meet, or a school program. With respect to education, I deferred to Flo, the partner with the greatest knowledge and skill, and then provide support. Happy children, happy wife, happy life. Additionally, whatever success I enjoyed in my career, Flo was as instrumental as I was in that success. We are a good team, and I tell her all the time, when we work together, good things happen. I too want to thank my parents for their encouragement and sacrifice to ensure that we had an opportunity for an education. They firmly believed that an education was the key to open the door to your dreams. All 11 of their children attended college. Many of us attended Prairie View. Valuing education and community service is a part of my family legacy. You see, my great-great-grandfather, twice a slave, first purchased land in 1872. And then in 1891, he purchased 500 acres southeast of Austin, Texas. From that purchase, he donated land for a school, a church, and a cemetery. As an apprentice-trained carpenter, from his resources, he built the church and built the school. He furnished the school and hired a teacher. That was the first school for African American students in that community. Because of his generous support of education and community service, this fall, the Del Valley Independent School District will name an elementary school in his honor. We're extremely proud of that and will continue to follow his example of community service. I want to close with a short story. Recently, I asked a young man to support our efforts here at Prairie View, and he very proudly said, I didn't attend Prairie View. I went to UT. He said, young man, you may not have attended Prairie View, but without Prairie View, there may not have been a UT in your future. You may not have attended Prairie View, but Prairie View has had an impact on your life. I dare say that everybody here has in some way been impacted by Prairie View. Thus I make the case for support of this wonderful institution. We must keep this a viable and competitive institution. I love Purview. I really do. Purview has given me so much. And I'm so thankful for all of the blessings that occurred to me because Flo and I chose to come to Purview. So let me just close by saying thank you, Purview.